Hey there, what's going on, fellas? How are you doing this morning? Hopefully you're doing well. You've got tons of energy on a great Monday morning. I thought about liveling it up with the Robin Williams, Good Morning Vietnam. Good morning, my people out there. How are you doing? God, hopefully you're doing well. What did you guys get into this weekend? Did you have a good time? Was the weather good where you live? Were you able to get out and enjoy yourself? Saturday, we went over to Navy Pier and did the Children's Museum. I know I mentioned that a few weeks ago. We're obviously members over there. And kids love that place. Run around. And they even finished the water area. That part was under construction last time. So now this time it was complete. And the kids were able to run around and do the water stuff. It's a good weekend. It's an absolutely good weekend. A lot of good sports in action this weekend. You had college basketball. It looks like you don't need to know that we're in the month of March. Just, look at various scores and buzzer beaters and all that. That'll be enough to tell you that we're clearly in the month of March. I know a lot of you guys watch college basketball, so it's getting into the fun part of your season, so I like to see that for you guys. What about NASCAR? That was a good race down at Las Vegas yesterday at the Pennzoil 400. We look forward to talking about that on this week's episode of the Highline Podcast, recapping that. And then you had, obviously, of course, NBA and NHL to, treat yourself for the nightcap throughout this weekend. So hopefully you guys are coming off a nice weekend. Let's go ahead and jump on into the recap of last week, see how it fell, see if we'll be ringing that cash register. And then let's talk some bets today. Let's talk Brentford Fulham. If you want to go ahead and already drop in your bet for Brentford Fulham in the comments section, I am very much interested to see what you guys think about Brentford versus Fulham. And then, of course, we'll go ahead and talk some NBA and NHL as well. All right, to go ahead and do the recap, we went 19-21 last week, down 5.24 units, and it just continues just an absolutely terrible, 2023. Yeah, it just continues what's just not been good around here. Year to date, 179 wins, 178 losses, but down 8.42 units. And then tracking arbitrage year to bet. Remember, we're sweating our ass off losing money. Arbitrage year to date, you ain't sweating at all. That is sweat-free money. You're betting both sides of a wager, and you're putting over $240 in your pocket so far in the first, 2 months and a week. So love to see that right there. Let's talk about those good wins last week. May be hard to stomach that. Losing 5 units, losing 8 units on the year, but we are still doing a lot of good around here. And the first part of that good is Chris Paul. We stumbled across maybe a little hidden gem here. Remember, it was way back on Wednesday. We took over on his assists on Kevin Durant's debut for the Suns, and he got there. He had 11 assists, But we noticed something in the box score of that game where he wasn't taking field goal attempts. And we thought, okay, maybe going forward you could take under his points. That's what we did Friday, and that's what we did Sunday, going 2-0, going under his points. And once again, that's 3 straight games now where he has not taken double-digit shot attempts, which is what alerted us to what potentially could be a great play, is because he was always a double field goal attempts guy. But now with Durant in the lineup, now you've got Devin Booker in the lineup, the shots are, reduced for other guys. And I think we've stumbled across something nice. So I'm not sure when the Suns play again, but you can go ahead and sign me up for an under his point total. So it was good going 3-0 last week with Chris Paul and potentially having something more even going forward. So that was cool. Luka Doncic over his 3-pointers. That was a night we were trying to decide between him and Kyrie Irving. We made the right decision. We took Birthday Boy, and he went over his 3-point attempts. So love to see that right there. Clint Capella, he got himself a double-double on Friday night. That was part of our little nice night we had on Friday night in terms of player props. Clint Capella got it done late in the fourth quarter. Very late off an assist by Trae Young. He gets an easy bucket, and he goes over 10 points. So love to see that right there. We had some FA Cup action in the midweek where we took a handful of games and just said, just give me a goal. I don't give a shit who scores. Just give me a goal. How about a nice plus 143 cash that was in your pocket by halftime? Love to see that right there. Manchester City -1 over the weekend against Newcastle. A little sweaty just because they weren't running away from Newcastle, but we talked about it on Between the Posts. We talked about how that was a 2-0, 1-0, maybe even a 3-0 game. And that's exactly what happened. Bernardo Silva stepped on, got the all-important second goal, and we get a good cash right there. Followed up by a dramatic cash in the next slate of Premier League games. Arsenal on that team total over 2.5 goals. How about down 2-0 to Bournemouth? And how about storming all the way back and snatching 3 points, getting a cash on the last kick of the ball? We talk about late winners. You talk about dramatic cashes. The last kick of the ball found the back of the net. I'm streaking through the house. I'm going crazy. Kids are, the 1-year-old just kind of looking up, like, what the hell is this guy doing? Great cash. Love to see that right there. Good plus money cash. Bruins and Kings. We dabbled in some NHL favorites. I think it was that Thursday? Yeah, I think it was Thursday when we went 1-2. Our only win was those Bruins and Kings on moneyline parlay. And then Dortmund and Leipzig on Friday afternoon brought us home both teams to score in over 2.5. Kind of seeing that a little trend here with Leipzig of we've kind of been betting their matches a little bit here. We bet the one against Bayern a few weeks ago. Poor first halves by Leipzig, but boy, they've really come out second half and like gangbusters, and they've been able to snatch up goals in the second half and give us a good cash. So, all right, let's talk about some of those painful losses from last week. How about Martin Truex Jr. over Christopher Bell yesterday in the Pennzoil 400? How about Truex Jr. being the better car all day long? Maybe didn't have the spots just because of strategies and pit stalls and what have you, or pit stops. But he had the better car all day. If you track it in the NASCAR app, it'll show you, track speeds and lap speeds and what have you. Truex was better than Christopher Bell all day. And then it came down to a late caution, and then it came down to strategy. And everybody pitted except for Martin Truex Jr. I can't blame him, right? Hendricks was... All the Hinder cars, obviously, except for the number 9, were the better. Was the better cars all day long. I mean, Bowman, Byron, and Larson were the 3 better cars. Truex took a gamble and said, "You know what? These guys have been kicking my ass, and I've been having fresh tires all day. Might as well not pit, stay out, guaranteed to be in first, and see if I can hold them off for 2 laps on old tires." It was a long shot because everybody else was on fresh tires, but one where you can't be mad at him for taking it. Ruins our bet. I mean. On old tires, everybody just went right around his ass on the last lap, and sick to your stomach because he had been beating Christopher Bell all day long, was a better car. I hear you, man. It's the strategy you got to make. You got to try and win the race. So really a tough one right there. Nikola Vujovic and rebounds. I still don't understand how a center only has 1 rebound at halftime. I have no goddamn clue how you're the tallest guy, the closest guy to the basket, and you only get 1 rebound at halftime. Tough stuff right there. Okora on his parts, the 2-unit cash that didn't go our way. Here's the sickening part about that is not only do you lose that, you mentioned it's still a good play going forward. So when's the next time he plays? It's Saturday against the Detroit Pistons. We didn't play it. It cashed. Why didn't we play it? Well, it's because it was against the Detroit Pistons, and I was scared of a blowout. And we saw in losing that 2-unit cash, what does he do in the fourth quarter? He didn't get hardly any playing time in a close game. So I thought in the blowout potential against the Pistons, if he's not playing in close games, then maybe you blow him in a blowout in the fourth quarter. I was scared that he'd come in, mop up duty, and go over his total. He stayed under, only getting 5 points. So still definitely very much a good play with that guy. And in fact, he plays the Celtics tonight, which we know they're really tough against a small forward position. So whenever we get a line for that, we'll clearly be playing that one. So tough one right there. What about Jamal Murray under 21.5 points on Friday night? Yeah. When you're losing, how do you lose? You lose on the hook. He ended the game with 22 points. And that's just the kind of shit we've got going on around here lately. Napoli and Bayern team total loss for the first time in 4 weeks as Napoli didn't do a damn thing against Lazio on Friday afternoon. And then over 2.5 goals in Southampton-Leicester. Just a typical game, right? Stats are all there. You think it's going to be a great over. A boring, dumb 1-0 game in the Premier League. So, 19-21, down 5.24 units on the week and down 8.42 units on the year. Sickening stuff right there. Let's hop in that comment section, see what you guys are on to on a great Monday morning. See if you guys were able to put any money in your pocket over the weekend. What's up, Tyler? What's up, my man? Hope you're doing well. What's up, Brian? Chris? You like all the NHL games over 3.5 goals at plus 107. Sure. I don't know where you're getting 3.5. Maybe an alternate line, or definitely an alternate line. Let me know. I would. I bet if you go look at all the real over-unders, they're like, 5.5 and over. So you're going down 2. I like it, Chris. I like it. Good morning, Corey. Oh, man. Liverpool stuck it to Man U that second half. I thought we were the better team in the first half. I thought the game should have been 1-1 at half, or maybe even United up 1-0 at half, and it wasn't that. And then second half, Liverpool just put their foot on United and just got them to make dumb turnovers, really, really bad mistakes by United. And, you listen to United camp and it's we played bad. I think you got to give a lot of that credit to Liverpool. They put them under pressure and they caused those mistakes. So, good second half there by Liverpool. Yeah, I did not enjoy that, Corey. I did not enjoy watching that. You smacked an 8-legged parlay on EPL, all under 5.5 in Leeds game over a goal at plus 134. Putting money in your pocket. Love to see it, Chris. What's going on, Lane? What's up, my man? You took the over in that Man United game. I just didn't think it was going to be for one. I took both teams to score in over 2.5, Lane. How the hell did United not find the back of the net? You found a winner. Congratulations, my man. Way to put some money in your pocket. Should have tweeted me that winner, dog. Come on, man. Help me out. Good morning, Ross. Good morning, Tim. And what's up, D-Gent? What's up, man? All right, Brentford, Fulham. What are you guys doing? Lane, you found a winner over the weekend against Liverpool, Man United. Chris, you've been putting in bangers all weekend. What are you guys doing for Brentford for this Fulham? It's a tough game. You got Fulham that's cashing over 2.5. No longer are they cashing over 2.5. You know the last team to get 2 goals against a Fulham side was all the way back in November? You got to go all the way back to November, the last time Fulham in the league conceded 2 goals or more. So they're no longer an over 2.5 cash cow like they were earlier in the season. Then you look at Brentford, a little bit mixed results, but generally still a great home side. So you fancy goals in this matchup. You would think goals in this matchup. Like that's where the stats lead you to believe is there's going to be goals. But not recently with Fulham. That's where, you pin yourself up against you're going to look at Fulham's recent stretch where, games are staying under, or are you going to go ahead and take an over? I'm going to go ahead and do an under. It's not going to be an under that you're going to go ahead and think. How about trying under 9.5 corners in a Brentford versus Fulham match at plus 114 over FanDuel? Listen to the stats, and then after you get all these stats, think about the price you're paying for this at plus 114. Under 9.5 corners, cash in the reverse fixture. I think it was back in August or September. Under 9.5 corners has cashed in the last 4 head-to-head. Under 9.5 corners has cashed in 4 of the last 5 against Brentford. Or for Brentford, cashing 4 of the last 5 games for Brentford. Their only miss was against Arsenal at home at the Emirates. That's an easy one to explain why it missed, because if you've been watching Arsenal this season, they're just like Man City, and they draw a ton of corners. So I get that one. Under 9.5 corners has cashed in 5 of the last games, 5 of the last 6 for Fulham. Their only miss was against Brighton, and that was the game where the XG was like 2.3 for Brighton and 0.3 for Fulham. A really weird game that Fulham was able to get the 3 points of. That one goes over as Brighton was just on it that day. They just couldn't find the back of the net. Under 9.5 corners has cashed in 48% of the Brentford matches and 56 of the Fulham matches. Now look at home and away. Under 9.5 corners has cashed in 58% of Brentford's home matches and 58% of Fulham's away matches. Smells like under 9.5 corners to me. I've lost a lot of bets chasing overs and corners. I'll take my first stab at an under when the stats say it should definitely go under, and then you factor in plus 114. It should not be plus 114 based off those stats and that hit rate I just rifled off. So sign me up for under 9.5 corners. A little Brentford versus Fulham is how we're going to roll there. If you guys are taking a stab at the over, I hear you. That's where I leaned initially, but then when I dig into the stats, I thought about the cards angle. Fulham actually has the most yellow cards in all the Premier League, but it's juicy, right? I mean, the books know this stuff, right? You got first. I think Brentford was like 15th card. So, yeah, obviously, the books know that, and they price it accordingly. So it's tough to do the cards angle. I'm going to go ahead and roll with the corners. I'm going to roll with these corners. What you doing there, EL? How about Boston losing to the Nets and the Knicks? Yeah, how about on Friday we all know I took a stab at that, and that didn't work out. All right, let me know how you guys are doing Brentford versus Fulham. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and ride with this under there in the corners. Let's go ahead and throw up some NBA bets. Let's go ahead and do Isaac Okoro. We mentioned him on our weekly recap. There's no number because, as EL just said there, Boston played 2 overtimes. The books are just trying to figure out who's going to be available for Boston, and then they'll set the lines. I want Okoro's under. I don't give a shit what it is. 6.5, 7.5, whatever the hell it is. I'll bet it. I'll tweet it, and then it'll become an official bet. But I am putting it on your radar right now that I'm interested in Isaac Okoro. What about Fred VanVleet there? The Toronto Raptors over 7.5 assists, plus 115 over MGM. The Nuggets are last in assists allowed to the point guard position at 8.9, and it's 9.3 over the last 14. Nobody allows more assists to the point guard position than your Denver Nuggets, so love that. And you remember the Raptors have also changed their roster since the NBA trade deadline. They've brought in Jakob Poeltl. They've kind of moved Siakam to the power forward position with Poeltl coming into center. Since they've got this new lineup with Jakob Poeltl, Fred VanVleet is 5-0 on cashing the over. 5-0. Hasn't missed since Jakob Poeltl's been in that lineup. And I'm not saying it's because of Jakob Poeltl. Obviously that changes their entire lineup and makes them a different team. 5-0. 5-0, and you're giving me plus 115? Yeah, sign me up, and it's against the team that allows the most assists to the point guard position. It's a no-brainer bet. It's an absolutely no-brainer bet. What else are we keeping an eye on? What about Joel Embiid under his points? It's at 32.5. It's right there. That's right there. What about Nikola Jokic? You could go over his points. He's going up against Jakob Poeltl. He's had decent success over Jakob Poeltl in his career. What about this angle with Nikola Jokic under his assists? Yeah, I said under his assists. Why did I say under his assists? The Toronto Raptors allow 3.4 assists to the center position, which ranks in the top 10 in the NBA. Same thing in the last 14. If we look at Nikola Jokic against Jakob Poeltl, obviously these numbers are going to be against the Spurs and not the Raptors. He went for 26 and 10. That's a cash on the under. He went for 22 and 10. That's a cash on the under. What about 41 and 4? Cash the under. 35 and 8. Cash the under. 22 and 10. Cash the under. What about the night he went for 32 and 7? Cash the under. Last 2 seasons, he's done nothing but cash under 10.5 assists to Jakob Poeltl. And now he's going up against this team here in the Raptors that do really good at not allowing assists to the center position. I'm thinking about doing Nikola Jokic under 10.5 assists at minus 120 over a points bet. Not an official bet. Obviously, it's not here on the screen, but it's one I'm considering. So I wanted to go ahead and put it on your radar. Hey, what about over-unders in the NBA? All the over-unders are bang on. Sportsbooks, they weren't sleeping when they put these numbers out, but they were sleeping a little bit on Blazers Pistons. I've got the game 115 to 115. You want to take a stab at the Pistons and plus 6 points? 3 of their 5 starters are out injured. That's why you can't pull the trigger. 3 of their 5 starters are out injured. And their point guard, Killian Hayes, is a game-time decision. How the hell can you bet that shit? 3 of the 5 starters are out injured. One guy's iffy. You can't bet that shit. Everything else is bang on. Got a total of 238. Total's 237. I got a total of 228. Number's 229. I got 227. Number's 228. Can't bet it. Can't bet it. Can't bet it. What are you betting there, Cole? That under 9.5 corners is now plus 118 on FanDuel if anyone's trying to bet that. It was plus 100 about an hour ago when I gave that bet out on TikTok. Then I came back, thought about it on the drive to school, was like, I'm going to do it. So got back here. I was here about 9 a.m., so about 30 minutes ago before the show starts. And to your point, it was plus 114. Now you see it at plus 118. So everybody's betting the over. Everybody's betting the over in corners. I mean, what stats are they looking at? Who the hell's betting the over? 58% of the cash, 58%. Last four. Who the hell's betting the over? Sign me up for an under. Good one, Cole. Glad you got a better price. I like it. Plus 118. All right, fellas. What else you guys got in the comment section? That's all I got. An under, 1 over assist play, and then possibly take an under. Well, not possibly. I'm taking the under on Okora. I'm taking the under on Okora. I mean, unless Boston's truly not going to play any of their guys, if they're really, on the back end of a back-to-back double overtime against the Knicks, if they're really going to rest guys and rest, okay, maybe you back off of it. But if Boston's playing their guys, I'm all on it. I'm all on it. Great team versus small forward position. We know Okora. We've kind of been talking about him, so no real explanation needed on him. But otherwise, that's it, fellas. Possibly 2 bets, maybe a 3rd bet for tonight. Otherwise, that's all. Or Nikola Jokic. And Nikola Jokic, by the way, fellas, everybody wants to talk about how this guy's a triple-double machine. How about under 10.5 assists is cashed in 9 of his last 12? How about he's only had 1 month in this entire season where he's averaged over 10.5 assists, and that's in the month of January. We got 11.3. It's not like this guy's always over 10.5. He's cashed in 9 of the last 12. Probably gonna add Nikola Jokic under 10.5 assists, and that's one of those bets though. When it doesn't hit, boy, do you get made fun of a lot. Boy, do you get made fun of a lot. That one will generate a lot of DMs on Twitter if he goes over 10.5 assists. How about Derek Carr getting in the signature to the Saints? Love it. He didn't sign with the Jets. Bills Mafia loves that. I was nervous that he would come to New York, sign with those Jets. Big time move deciding to go to New Orleans. Thank you, Derek Carr. Love that decision right there to go to New Orleans and play for the Saints. Love it. You took Pelicans plus 5.5. I can tell you what I got. I got him losing by 4, so I still like plus 5.5. You've got him losing as 2, and you got 5.5. So I think that is worth the stab. A lot of injuries. The thing that put me off is De'Aaron Fox is a game-time decision. I mean, he's the motor on that team. He's the motor on that team. So I would like a little bit of clarity on his situation. Obviously, that's only going to help you if he doesn't play, and you've got Pelicans, plus 4.5. There were a couple of guys out for the Pelicans, if I recall, too. Not McCollum, not Ingram, or not Valanciunas. It was whoever the hell's their shooting guard. Can't recall now, but yeah, I think it's worth a stab. I think it's definitely worth a stab. I think the Pacers is worth a stab. I think Pacers, they got the game at plus 6.5. I got them losing by 1. I got the Pacers losing by 1. They're getting plus 6.5. Why am I not on that? Well, there was somebody I'd have to go back and look. There was somebody that was injured that had me just put off just enough. Can't quite remember now, but whatever it was, that's what it was. Whatever it was, that's what it was, boys. All right, what do we got here, fellas? Anything else? Nothing else. All right, everybody's just ready to go make some money and have a good day. I'm on board with that. All right, fellas, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for talking some sports betting on this great Monday morning. Hope you guys have yourself a fantastic day. Come on back tomorrow. Let's count up all this cash that we've made on these bets here. We'll kick off another day of winning bets. Have a good one.